Life of a Showgirl released this past Friday, Taylor Swift's 12th studio album. The album included Actually a Romantic, an unexpected diss on Charli XCX. Commenters have called it a complete misinterpretation of Charlie's song, uninspired, and kind of like Weezer. In the same vein, James Franklin surprised everyone with an unexpected loss to UCLA. Commenters said Franklin completely misinterpreted UCLA's offense, had an uninspired run game, and was kind of like Weezer. Welcome to the Moonstamp Cast. I'm Jordan. This is the So Long London to my So Long playoffs. Brian, how are you?
Full disclosure, my wife is a huge Swiftie.
Listen,
I'm saving my face.
I just want to diss James Franklin personally, because that was an uninspired loss on Penn State's part. But I also haven't listened to the album. I'm not listening to the album.
Look, it's time for everyone's favorite part of a sports podcast where we talk about Taylor Swift. It is definitely from it's a divisive album throughout her fandom. The Swifties themselves, like some of them love it, absolutely love it. My wife does, and some of them are like, it's so uninspired and stuff. Like it's that her lyricism has gone down, and I was like, I enjoyed it. I watched it. I listened to it on the couch with my wife when it first dropped. I thought there were some songs on there that I would listen to again, but I'm not a big Swiftie, so I don't know. People just want to have an opinion and hate to hate and love to love. Whatever, dude. It's music. On to the next one.
You can cut this from the opening clip, but I did see that someone said her lyricism seems like CTE is sexually transmitted. And I did think that was one of the funniest ways to diss an album of all time. That was great. But again, I haven't listened personally. I'm just on the outside looking in. Call me Ben Platt. That's a joke two people will get. But just like a tortilla chip is a vessel for queso, the Taylor Swift comparison was a vessel for me to make fun of James Franklin and all of Penn State for losing to UCLA, a team who had not led for an entire second this entire college football season. It's week 6, not led an entire second until last week or this past Saturday, where they led almost, I think it was the entire game they led, which is for a team like Penn State who had playoff aspiration hopes. They were a playoff team last year. There was real talk about them. Maybe they're definitely going to get in the playoffs. Real talk about them maybe getting into
talking about them that they were the number one team in the nation.
Yeah.
Going into the season. And
now I'm so glad they're not in the top 25. I have thoughts on the top 25. But I'm so glad they're not in the top 25 because they don't deserve it. Losing to Oregon, I get it. They're a great team. Losing to Oregon, I get it. I understand. Oregon's a good team. Losing to UCLA with a new is Nussmeier the head coach? I never got that. Is he the OC, the head coach? Whatever. A new guy calling the plays who also didn't call 2 plays because he forgot how to use his headset. 2 plays weren't called. And it was, I think, a 4th and 4. Just absolutely insane stuff. And James Franklin continues to show that he can go into anywhere. And blow it. He can't really do it in general. Like he's always going to be the guy who I was trying to think of an apt manager comparison. I almost think it was like a Dusty Baker for a long time, where Dusty Baker was always almost there, and just could never get it done in the end. And James Franklin is very much that same guy who's like, he will get you close enough to where you can almost win a national championship. And at the end of the day, I love Dusty Baker too. I love Dusty Baker. I am not coming at Dusty. That's why I said for a long time that was Dusty Baker's reputation. But just like Taylor Swift, he got over his reputation by winning callbacks, baby, winning a World Series in 2022. But it was an uninspired loss. 2 losses in a row.
I completely agree. I just want to cut in real quick. Look, State Penn fans, I don't like you. You don't know who I am because we are a very small podcast. We can be honest though. It's time. Bye Franklin. Like it's done.
Well, I did see his buyout is like $50 million, and the DC's making $3 million. They have, in the era of NIL where you pay players like a crazy amount, they actually said, no, we're going to pay coaches a crazy amount. and again, this is the DC who called plays against a guy he's the oldest 18-year-old I've ever seen. When it comes to his life, I don't know. I honestly could not tell you how old he is. A DC against, again, the worst college football team, I think, in all of D1. Like, I don't think that's maybe Sam Houston State. And he went in and blew it and did not like the first, they looked from this jump like they did not know what was happening. James Franklin, yes, probably should go. So should the DC. So should, honestly, the entire coaching staff, just whole house right there. But they're not, because I don't know if they have the money to do that. Especially again in the era of NIL, where there's just so much money transferring hands, and then you go and pay your coach that much money, who again will never be able to make it to if he can make it to the national championship, he'll lose. It's not going to end well.
Can we also admit that Drew Aller is not the guy?
Yes, I also don't think he was the complete problem on that one.
No, I don't think he's the problem, but I don't think he's the solution.
No, he's not. He is definitely not the guy. I also don't think he put his team on his back a couple times during that game. The run game also just never got off the ground. And I mean that like not jokingly. Like I don't think I ever saw them run that fast. It just wasn't overall. I don't know if they schemed wrong. I don't know what happened, but from the beginning, it seemed like the offense was just Stroud like. It was like CJ Stroud for the first couple games where he was trying his hardest to make something happen, and like no one else would allow him to do it.
Yeah. Jumping over to the counter, the other side of that though is Texas, also now unranked.
Thank God.
Boy, oh boy.
What a great. I know in soccer, there's something called St. Totteringham's Day. And it's the day that Tottenham can no longer mathematically pass Arsenal in the standings and the table. And I equate that the Texas is back in some sense, to where there's always a time where, maybe not last year, but for the last 10, 15 years, there's a day you can pinpoint the day we can all say Texas is not back. And it's a great day for everyone. We all cheer and joy and say, have fun with your Lambos, have fun with your oil money. And then everyone else will go play football. I don't know if I can say much as a UH fan, but everyone else can go play football. And we can mark that Saturday, October 4th, 2025 is the day we can all rejoice and say, the Wicked Witch is dead. Texas is not back. I also want to say, I don't think Arch is the problem. I don't think he's I don't think he's the full problem. I think he is a problem. I don't think he is the full problem. Going to that game, Florida had 3 sacks all season. Would you like to know their total sacks on the season after this game?
12.
9. They gave up 6 sacks for Arch. I think it was, and I wrote it down. I think there were Arch had 42 dropbacks. Of those 42 dropbacks, 35 were pressured in some capacity. That's a bad one right there. That's bad. And again, I think Arch doesn't read a defense well. I think he holds on the ball too long. I think he underthrows. Again, he comes from I made this joke about Booger McFarland that he was trying to equate him to Eli and Peyton. But like for a family that is known for throwing well, I don't think that guy understands how to throw over a receiver. Only under. With all that said, at the same time, you can't do much if your O-line is trash. You could put in anyone. Put in
CJ Stroud, baby.
Yeah, a la CJ Stroud. Maybe just be a Texas problem. Texas has been infected with a virus. It's O-line 25. Like COVID-19, we got O-line 25, where the O-lines can't block. That's also my thing. Sorry, not to get off topic. Whenever people talk about, hey, let's expand the NFL to 4 more teams or 2 more teams, are we really going to find 10 to 20 more O-linemen who can do a job? Now again, the Texans got better this week. We'll talk about the Texans in a second. At the same time, if you ask me to find 10 more O-linemen as a scout, let's say I was a scout.
Starting O-linemen.
Starting linemen.
Second string and third strings.
Yeah. I got someone who can do the job. Someone who can maybe not give up 10 pressures a game. And truthfully, if I'm a scout, I'm just going to go blow my brains out if that happens, because I'm not going to find that. That is an unachievable task. You can just bleep that. But yeah, no, I don't think Arch Manning is a problem. At the same time, Brian, is it time to call for Sark's job? And I'm not saying they should, but I'm saying as Texans, we have seen Charlie Strong, Tom Herman, that's just the past couple of years. You see, they start to do a little badly, and all of a sudden, they're putting the guillotine out on the lawn, the Texas or the whatever the lawn is called, at the bell tower. They're putting the guillotine out because they're ready to ship them off to FAU or Maryland or wherever. That was Kevin Sumlin. Wherever they all go, wherever the Texas coaches go to rehab, which may be Alabama. I don't know. When are they calling for Sark's job? Like, seriously, because I've seen bench Arch, but I'm not seeing ship Sark.
I think you got to start whispering about it, right?
Yeah.
Like, at least, like, you might not calling for his job like out in the streets, but like if you're huddled at a dive bar and with your buddies and you're all Texas fans, you might be like, "Hey man, what if we just started anew? We have one of the highest NIL funds out there. This isn't devastating if we wrap up and like start anew."
Yeah, I'm trying to find his buyout. I've seen it's estimated to be $64 million, and he signed that in what 2025. So that's a clean 64.
He signed that in an extension.
He signed a new contract extension. Now this is Google AI. I don't know if that means anything, but I am seeing his buyout decreases. Okay, following 2026. This is from All in 3. His buyout decreases to $36.5 million.
So you'd stick with it next season with Arch, and hopefully it gets better. But at the end of that next season, if it's shit, you cut him loose.
Yeah. No, I mean, and that depends on how much the Texas boosters get involved, because every time you go to
booster, that's like, I don't fucking care, I'll pay it.
Well, Brian, every time you go pump gas, you're paying a Texas A&M, a Texas Tech, and a Texas booster. Somehow, I don't know how. It's like that shot of like. You see the two missiles. It's like my tax dollars, also somehow my tax dollars going into each other. It's like every time I go pay for gas, I'm also supporting the downfall of football outside of Texas A&M and Texas Tech. There's got to be some booster at Texas who's like, listen, I have maybe 10 more years left in my life. I'm an older man. I made my money. I'm not dying only seeing 2005 or 2000. I'm not dying having not seen Sark and Arch Manning bring this program to the ground after Quinn Ewers, not a great quarterback as we know. I mean, he's the third string on like maybe the Titans. I saw him as third string somewhere. Can't remember where it was. He was inactive. Maybe it was the Ravens. I don't know. No, it was someone else. I'm not letting that guy define who my program is in the 2020s. So if you're a Texas fan, at what point do you say, listen, Sark, it's actually personal. It's not business at all. This is fully personal. You're going to FAU. You're going to a nice Conference USA team. We'll see you later.
Jordan, is it time to start having the conversation that Ohio State is probably means over 50%, but the more than favorite to go back to back because they are the only team. Miami too. And Texas A&M for the most part as well, and Oregon, but they're all here. I have Ohio State like here. They are a well-oiled machine. They don't make mistakes. They look unstoppable, and I think we might have a back-to-back on our hand.
So I saw a clip this week on TikTok of all the Big Ten coaches talking about their coffee order, and everyone was like, "I take it black. I take it black. I take it black." And then you have Ryan Day come up. It's like, I have a little bit of cream. And every single commenter is like, that's why Ohio State's soft. That's why Ohio State sucks. That's why Ohio State will never get where. I'm starting to think Brian the Meta is putting cream in your coffee because the way they're playing. Again, last season they were like underlooked because of the Michigan game going to the playoffs. As someone who called them winning and said they're going to win, and I feel like no one else did. I take that with pride. I watched Oregon. I watched Miami. I haven't watched Texas A&M. I honestly think Texas A&M is going to win the SEC. That's my call very quickly.
Yeah. No, I agree. They're the best team in the SEC.
I said that 2 weeks ago. I said I was matriculating. I was matriculating that idea that Texas A&M is going to win the SEC. I think it's a clear call now. I after watching Ohio State and watching them dismantle teams. It's not just beat them. It's dismantle them. I think it's time to say, if I'm putting money down right now, Ohio State's my favorite. Now, at the end of the season, I'll do another analysis, and I'll say, like, maybe Miami's the team. Maybe Oregon's the team. Hell, maybe, like, Ole Miss is the team. Maybe Lane Kiffin finally does
very well be the team, by the way.
A&M could very well be the team. at the same time, if I'm putting money down somewhere and I'm looking at the team that's just beating the shit out of people, and that's Ohio State. And that's that. Again, as a confirmed Big Ten and like kind of Ryan Day hater, just like generally, I'm a sports fan. I hate Ryan Day. Just it's part of the job. I hurts to say, if I'm saying someone's going to go back to back in the next year, 10 years, it's Ohio State right now.
Yeah, no, they look incredible. Speaking of looking incredible, this is my last note on college football. Where the hell has this Notre Dame defense been all year? We could have used this defense when we played Miami. We could have used this defense when we played Texas A&M. I'm very happy that they've showed up, but what the hell, guys? What took so long?
Good for them. They've said, I mean, I think some TikTok commenters were like making fun of you for saying, Jeremiah Love and what was the other? There was
one guy, and then two other guys jumped in. Were like they covered the spread and also looked incredible. And I was like, "Thank you."
I don't know what you're talking about at all. Notre Dame, listen, you're in good. A&M and Miami look fantastic right now. So I think you're in a good position to where, let's say you win out, you got those two losses.
If they win the ACC and the SEC, and those are our only two losses, I think we should be in because it was a combined 4 points. Now, biased, of course. Notre Dame fan thinks sneaky way to sneak into the playoffs and give himself a shot, of course. But if we win out, even though if our schedule isn't the toughest, if we win out and they win the SEC and they win the ACC, we have to be in.
Yeah, I think. Listen. You're betting on two teams. One team at least you hate. Another one who you don't like that much because it's Miami. I have a couple more notes on college
convicts, but I wouldn't say I hate them.
I don't think you hate
the
them.
Tradition. There's just a tradition rivalry there.
Yeah. I think you should dislike the fact that they're good right now. How's that? I have a couple more notes on college football. One, Cincy, Iowa State, a fantastic game. It was mostly a second half game. It felt like first half, it was just Cincinnati beating up on a poor, sweet ISU. I will say, and this is going to go into a rant I have real quickly about the AP poll. The AP poll essentially doesn't matter. It's not a real thing. It is a fake thing we're doing as like a collective where we all talk about this, people vote on this, whatever. I am looking at votes right now this week, and there are some people who should never be allowed to talk sports again. And I'm talking about the people who put Texas as 14. Texas as 14 is insane. There are people who put Penn State in the 20s, like early 20s, like maybe 20. They even got, I think I said one in 19. It essentially doesn't matter, but it's crazy that we're having this conversation where I see sports writers putting teams who should not be there in there. And this is to say, I get why Cincinnati is not in the top 25. I get it. At the same time, if you're putting Texas and Penn State in your top 25, and you're not even thinking about putting Cincinnati anywhere. And again, I say this as a guy who does not particularly love Cincinnati because they beat UH every fucking time. I don't love, it makes me, it is something I care about that actually doesn't mean it. It does not matter. These people do not matter because the committee decides all. But I'm looking at this and I'm going, how in the world is Cincinnati barely not able to scrape in? Then you have North Texas, who I don't think North Texas should be in the top 25, but it should have more votes than Penn State and Texas. They're at least beating up on other teams. It does not matter, and I hate it.
Speaking of that, why AP poll is a joke, have you seen the thing that has all the ranked 25 teams? It's yes, of course I've beaten a FBS school. It's week 6, and then it's Texas and Penn State being like, no.
Yeah, I am looking at, who is this? This is Kate Rogerson, who has UT at 14 and then Penn State at 17. Are we watching different things? Am I watching football wrong? There's no way. And then you go all the way over there and she has Cincinnati's 25. I'll give her that, but it's still just insane. And at least, I don't know, put North Texas in there. And I like North. Maybe I'm just biased towards Texas teams maybe, but North Texas should be in the conversation after Texas faltered against Florida. And then again, Penn State should not even be allowed to touch the AP poll right now. Should not be allowed to touch it. It should be 500 feet away from elementary school. It should not be allowed because you lost to, I just think I'm saying the worst team in D1. And now they have have one win against the top 10 team. which is patently insane. I don't know. I saw that and it annoyed me. It's a rant I have to have. Also, Diego Pavia, if you lose a game, and listen, I did not play college sports, so I maybe don't have a fight in this. If you lose a game, I feel like you should not be allowed to chirp the opposing fans who are chirping you. You should be like, you know what, dog? Yeah, hands up. I did lose this game. I played. I just feel like
college athletes get to defend themselves. Athletes get to defend themselves. If they want to chirp back, they chirp back.
I chirp back,
but like they might get media backlash for it, but nah, fuck fans, dude.
Fuck. Listen, I am fully of the opinion you should be able to. Every NBA player should get to choose one fan a year to beat the shit out of. I don't care if it's a small baby. I don't care if it's an elderly man. I don't care who. It's rules. Listen, there's a thing at the sign at the front of every single NBA game. Like by entering into this arena, you now have the chance to get beat the fuck out of by Meta World Peace. That would have changed a lot of things back in 2003. But I do think I'm a big believer in you beat the shit. Listen, you have to beat the shit out of people who talk trash to you at least once a year. But I do think if you throw 2 interceptions and you don't look great, and there's an Alabama fan who also, they're Alabama fans. They're barely people as it is. I say that as someone who also watched the Yankees this week. We'll talk about the Yankees in a second. Yes.
I have a question. Why was Johnny Manziel on the Vanderbilt sidelines? Like, what?
Johnny Manziel has decided that he's going to go back and get his education. He realized that being a fuckboy in his 30s is probably not a good look.
Oh, is he attending Vandy right now?
I'm joking. That's not a thing. No, that's not a thing. I'm just trying to help him a little bit. No, I have no clue why he's on the sidelines at all. And who was he talking to? He tried to talk to. No, he was talking to like some player, and the player like obviously did not recognize who he was. Which he does look a little different, so I'll give the player that. And like he seemed confused that the player didn't know who he was. It was a weird. It's like going back to your old high school game. Or where you're like, hey, what's up? And everyone's like, okay. And like, if you go to A&M, I get it. A&M, he's a star there. He will never pay for another drink in College Station again. I don't think Vanderbilt gives that much of a shit about him at all. And they're like, oh, that's Johnny. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Like if I saw Johnny Manziel, I'd be like, that's cool. That's Johnny Manziel. If he was on a UH sideline, I'd be like, why are you here? Don't you just travel like 200 miles? That's where you're supposed to be. So yeah, I don't know why. I saw him chatting shit to somebody in his Instagram DMs, which there are 2 athletes who I expect that from, which is Kevin Durant and Johnny Manziel. If you talk shit to them, they will talk shit back on. Shout out Kev, UH Rocket, not UH Rocket, Houston Rocket. Sorry, I think Houston and UH are the same thing half the time. But yeah, last thing on college football. So last week I talked about, hey Texas Tech, do you want to not play a game? And I asked very nicely, and in return, you guys beat the shit out of UH. I feel a little hurt by that. I was at the game, and there are a lot of Texas, and I have some complaints about Texas Tech fans in general. And this is not sour grapes because we lost, because like again, I knew we were going to lose. There were a lot of Tech fans really chirping hard, and against like not me. Like I never really got chirped at. It was always like children and elderly people walking away in the third quarter because it's probably past their bedtime. Like, yeah, go home. And to that I say, if I came up on this podcast and I said, Brian, I beat one of the fastest guys. You go, oh, cool. Like in a race? You're like, yeah, in a race. You go, oh, who? You go, his name is Jason. He's in Miss Safferty's 3rd grade class. And you go, well, okay. You did technically beat a fast person, but a 3rd grader who's the fastest in his class. That's not that impressive. You were almost 30 years old. That's what it feels like when they were chirping UH fans. Cause sure, UH was undefeated. Wink, wink. But it's like, yeah, but they're probably the worst undefeated team who escaped Corvallis because they fired their special teams coach this week. That is the only reason that we escaped Corvallis. And so, one, that's just kind of annoying. I listen, I understand winning, and I get annoyed every time I have to get paid for gas. I know there's a Texas Tech booster I'm helping with this. But second, and this is probably my biggest gripe. Listen, I think the throwing the tortillas thing is kind of stupid. I think it is. But I also don't go to Tech. It's okay. I don't go to Lubbock. I don't go to Red Raider games. But my problem is when you come to another school and another field and decide to throw tortillas on the field, and then I see parents buying their kids tortilla chips to then throw on the field, and it's like you're 9 to 10 rows back and you're not making it to the field and you're just throwing it on people. It's really kind of annoying, honestly. It's kind of a dick move. It's like if I come to your house and like, let's say you pee on the toilet, like sometimes. And we're guys. Sometimes it happens, and it's not fun because I'm just kind of like willy nilly doing it. Let's say I then come to your house, you're with your wonderful wife. I say I'm going to pee on the floor next to the toilet. Oh, you do it sometimes. Okay, that's fine. Like I do it at my house, I should be able to do it at yours. You're gonna be like, that's a little annoying. I don't really love that. It feels like they're peeing near my toilet, and it was just kind of a dick move, and that was my general consensus on them. Yes.
I think peeing is significantly worse in this situation.
I think throwing things on the field, like food items on the field for staff to clean up, when it's like I don't know what their stadium's called. At their stadium. Sorry, I don't know what the stadium's called. They know it's going to happen, and staff is ready to clean that up. They're ready to go. They understand that as part of their job is they're going to have to clean up tortillas. The staff at University of Houston at it's a new name. It was TDSU Stadium for my time. I can't remember what the name is now. They changed it. There's not the part of the, like, I understand part of the job description is clean things up, but tortillas being thrown is not a thing that happens at our games. And it never has, until this game never did. It was a new phenomenon. And it just seems like a dick move to do that. Also, I saw, last thing, because we'll move on to the NFL after this. I saw a lot of Texas Tech fans be like, oh, we sold out your stadium. We see so much red because it was a blue out. And I don't think they understand how controversial the blue color is in UH fandom. There are a lot of people of the age of like 40 who say, we're not Ole Miss. We're never going to wear light blue. What are you talking about? I saw a ton of people in red who are UH fans. So it's really not the wing you think it is. Because just because you saw red doesn't mean they're a Raider fan. They're not a Texas Tech fan. It's just like, for some reason, the color blue is one of the most controversial colors I troll the forum sometimes, look around the forum, see what's going on. I have seen so many people like vehemently angry about the fact that UH just even touched the color blue. So it's not the one that I know, like Texas Tech tweeted out, like, you're welcome for the sold out crowd. When they like look at one side of the stadium, there was a lot of red. There's very little blue. I'm like, that's probably just UH fans, honestly. No one wears, like, the blue is very much a maybe 35 and younger thing. Once you get to a certain age, you're like, blue is the worst thing I've ever seen. Like the Breaking Bad, why are you blue? It's like that the entire time, but they're just angry about it. So lots of notes. Also, did you realize I didn't talk about the game much? Yeah, there's a reason for that. It was not a good game, and it wasn't supposed to be a good game. As much as Willie Fritz is like, I didn't prepare him for the game. I'm like, I don't think you could have brought in like Vince Lombardi and the ghost of Vince Lombardi, prime Bill Belichick, Andy Reid, and just name you have Kyle Shanahan as your offensive coordinator. I don't think they could have helped. They would have been like, yeah, brother, we're kind of shit out of luck on this one. So
we're cooked.
We are cooked. We just like Breaking Bad, we're cooking. We're cooked. So that's my notes on college football. I just had to get that out there that Texas Tech fans were a peeve annoying to me. And I've met a lot of fans over my time as a fan traveling and stuff like that. Some great fans, bad fans like SMU, but it's not like they're mean. They're just like, they're SMU fans. They're doing the booger boogie and also making millions of dollars. So that's all my notes on college football.
Yeah, I don't have anything else on college football. I've got a couple quick NFL notes, but nothing too major. The first one just being, hey, CJ makes me want to believe again, but we have to temper expectations a little bit because the Baltimore Ravens were extremely injured and had the 32nd ranked defense. And the other team that he did well against is the Tennessee Titans, their defense is also certified ass. That being said, he looked incredible. He
looked great. It was one of those games I'm like, okay, this is the CJ Stroud I know. This is the boy I saw in 2023 and was like, oh, this guy's the answer to Deshaun. He was throwing and running well. It felt like we had a new guy on the field. There's a joke in like soccer I see where like, if you just get a guy back from injury, it's like, it's a new transfer, basically. You get a new player on your team. It felt like there's a new guy on the team right now. CJ got his, I had to use the word swagger, but like he got that aura back, which may not be better than swagger. But he has mojo back, his mojo Jojo back. He got it back. And it felt like the CJ I know and the CJ we love. The offensive line looks better. The defense looks fantastic no matter what. I mean, that's again the question.
Is so good, dude. The defense
the question
is so good.
If we could give maybe 10 to 15% of the defense's power to the offense, this would be the team. This would be the AFC. I mean, the AFC is kind of wide open this year. We'll see about the Chiefs tonight. This comes out tomorrow, but we'll see about the Chiefs tonight. This is a wide open AFC. But if the Texans could give maybe 15% of their offensive power to or defensive power to the offense, this is no question the AFC.
Sweet.
No question. Can I give you a little something real quickly? I mentioned. Don't hate me for this, okay? Don't fight me on this. Just hear what I'm going to say. This is a no judgment zone, just like Planet Fitness. Brian, is there a world? This is coming after the Bills' loss, and the Ravens looking like ass. So I haven't seen the Chiefs, so they only had one good game. Texans are still a little questionable. Is there a world where the Colts are the AFC champions?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Colts are playing amazing football.
Their defense looks good. They're off. I mean, Daniel Jones is Indiana Jones. And we did not think going into this year we'd even be talking about the Colts. And again, I will bring this up every week. We had a joke going on that, I actually trust Daniel Jones less than Anthony Richardson. And we were both Anthony Richardson kind of fans. We like him, but we're like, we
thought we saw the athletic potential.
Yeah. We saw that we're potential believers. I watched this week and I go, Brian, is there a world the Colts make it to the Super Bowl out of the AFC? Because the AFC just hasn't. There's no team that I'm like, yeah, that's a team. We talk about the Bills, we talk about the Ravens, we talk about like the Chiefs, we talk about. I don't know. Maybe the Broncos. Maybe.
So I wanted to bring this up. This leads me to another point. Did we crown the Bills way too early?
Yeah. I mean, their defense never looked great. Their defense does not look great. Their offense also stalled last night, and that's another question for another day.
They had a lot of mistakes and a lot of turnovers. I think this is a one-off game for them, but this is the NFL. Slow the roll, man.
Yeah. I mean, there was some mayhem happening last night, but I mean, yeah, no, I don't like. It feels like the Big 12 in some sense. We're like, there are good teams, are good teams, but you don't know who the best of the good teams is. I mean, you will say maybe this year Texas Tech, but like, it feels like there's no team you're looking at and being like, this is the best possible team. So, listen, maybe we have a AFC championship all horse. We horse around a little bit with Broncos versus Colts. Who knows? Who knows?
Well, Bills could absolutely be there too.
Bills could still do it, but I don't know. After last night's game, like the Colts lost to was it not the Chargers, the Broncos? The Rams. They lost to the Rams. To the Rams, and like that's understandable. The Rams are a really good team. Like when they're a good team, they're a good team. I don't know. It's a team like that. But watching this, I'm like, are the Colts like kind of really good,
man? Colts are legit, and they look good.
They look good.
Damn good.
They look good on both sides of the ball. And this is not all three phases, everything. So listen, I want to start, a conversation. I want to start a very important conversation. Are the Colts maybe your AFC champions? Maybe. I feel like I haven't seen them super tested, but at the same time, has anyone been really super tested so far?
I think they're the best team in the AFC, complete team in the AFC South or AFC right now.
Yeah.
AFC South bar none. But I think they're the best team in the AFC right now. That's subject to change, as always. Like we said, Bills, we crowned them champions after 4 weeks, and now, losing to the Patriots. Now, Drake May looks phenomenal. Josh Allen didn't look great, but I mean that those type of games are going to happen throughout the season because Vrabel is also a very, very good defensive-minded coach.
Yeah,
he had some things cooking up for that defense to throw him off balance. So, it's. No way, shape, or form are we cutting the Bills out and being like they're done, they're toast. But you made them bleed. You made them look human.
It's only week 5. Only week 5.
They got season to go.
They got Ivan Drago. He bleeds. At the same time, maybe it's my like this is our Colts, is our team that's kind of got me revved up and ready to go. But I do feel like the Colts. If I'm putting money on AFC championship or AFC winner right now, I may put some money on the Colts. I'm not, but I'm saying this again. We're starting a conversation. This is a very important conversation. We're starting it this week. We'll as we go further, maybe. But I just want to bring that out for us to talk about.
That's it for me, man. I didn't have very many NFL notes this week. There was a lot of stuff that happened, but like the Buccaneers game was incredible.
Yeah, Baker's incredible. I love Baker. He continues to show how incredible he is. I was going to bring up for the Bills patrons. I was going to say the Cardi B game where just I don't know. You got to impress your baby mama somehow, and that's beating your old. You beat your old father. You beat your old team. It really was a Stephon Diggs heavy game, which maybe Stephon Diggs
100 yards.
Here's a question for you. Did someone sacrifice something to the pit beforehand accidentally, not knowing what they were doing? Because, the Bills in the new stadium, they have a pit. And they were sacrificing things to the pit. Did someone forget that Stephon Diggs is now on another team and actually
threw a Stephon Diggs jersey in there?
Yeah, just by accident. It's like one they had and they threw it in there. They sacrificed to the pit, and all of a sudden Stephon is like, "Oh, actually, I'm a really good receiver, even if this is no hate to Drake May, but Drake May's my quarterback. It's just he's not Josh Allen." He's good. He's just not Josh Allen.
This game looks like the best second-year quarterback right now, man.
He does, which again, this is no hate to Drake May. It was more just a Stephon Diggs love post. But yeah, no, did someone in Buffalo, you get your shit together. Did someone actually put a Stephon Diggs jersey in there? Sometimes things happen. It's like a Curry jersey. You know how there are two Currys now? Well, what if you bought a Seth Curry one accident? Well, you bought a Seth Curry one accident on the Warriors. That is.
Yeah, that's so funny. They're gonna play together.
I want to ask a question. Do you think there's somebody who's going to ask for a Seth Curry jersey and get a Steph Curry jersey? Now, it's obviously going to happen the other way around, but someone will be like, "Hey, I have a Steph one. Can I get a Seth one?" And someone's parents they're like, "Yeah, get a Curry jersey." They get a Steph Curry jersey. There's got to be at least one guy in America, or two, maybe two, at least in the Bay Area, who's like, "I want a Seth Curry jersey." Give me the Splash Brothers, which is a name we've never used before for anybody. Give me the Splash Brothers of the Warriors. So if you're that guy, I applaud you. I think it'd be a really funny bit also. I may even do that. I don't like the Warriors. I may even ask for a Seth Curry jersey just to see which one I get. If I get a Steph one, I'll be like, "Oh, it's good," but it's not what I wanted. So that's I don't know. We've all talked about getting a Seth Curry jersey instead of Steph, but there's got to be one guy. So, other thing, Broncos also look legit. The Eagles also looked kind of trashy in the second half. Saquon with that penalty did not. That's a tough look, brother. That's a tough look. That's gonna be one of the worst.
Refs weren't great in this game.
No,
I'll give that to Philly. No. Refs weren't great in this game. Also, funny that Jalen Hurts. First off, I like Jalen Hurts. I think he's a great quarterback. Funny that the game that he throws the most in that they lose.
I was hoping to see at least one Jalen Hurts fraud watch tweet or talk, not because I believe it, but because I think it'd be really funny if he had his best game of the season and they're fraud watch actually because his team lost. I really wanted at least one guy to be like, Jalen Hurts not a good quarterback, and just gonna see if the discourse is agreeing with it. It's like that who was that nose tackle? It was them. Maybe it was in Miami. I don't know. There's a nose tackle they were talking about who's drafted this past year, and people are like, "He only has so many tackles." It's do you know what a nose tackle does? I think you fundamentally misunderstand. Same with Jalen Hurts fraud watch on his best game of the season. So again, there's got to be at least one guy, and at least in Philly, who's we should get rid of him. People talk about CJ Stroud, getting rid of CJ Stroud, who I hope they all hate themselves this week. Same with Jalen Hurts. So. That's all my football notes. It was a kind of weird week. I feel like they were good games, but I didn't feel mused. No one mused me.
There's a couple really good games. The Buccaneers Seahawks game was incredible. The Patriots Bills game was incredible. Technically the Vikings Browns games was a close game, but felt like there was a lot of shit pumpings this week.
Yeah. Speaking of shit pumpings, you want to move on to MLB playoffs
postseason? Blue Jays, baby.
I've seen a lot of talk on Twitter of Yankees fans saying, "Who has it worse than us, losing the postseason this much?" and calling for the Blue Jays to be investigated. And to that I say, it couldn't happen to a nicer group of fans. It just truly couldn't happen to a nicer group of people.
You cannot boast about 27 rings and then bitch about who has it worse than us. Pick a lane. I don't care. You're going to annoy me either way. You're going to annoy the rest of the sports world either way. Pick a fucking lane.
It's like whenever the Chiefs maybe last year were like, we're the underdogs. It's like, sure, you are the underdogs, but you're also the fucking Chiefs. You have more rings than the last 10 years has been especially, it's like the first meal after a paycheck when you're like, I'm getting steak tonight. It's like, yeah, that's their entire 10 years. If you're the Yankees, again, it couldn't happen to a nicer group of people. If you're the Yankees, you can't say like, oh, we're the best team in all of MLB forever because we have 27 rings. Be like, I actually hate my life right now because we keep losing in the postseason. It's like, maybe don't give up 13 runs. Sorry, maybe don't do that. It's not actually that hard.
They scored 7.
They scored 7. But
that's your bright spot, Yankees fans. Now you're down 2-0. And you're going back to Yankee Stadium, so who knows? Maybe that short porch will come into effect.
Maybe you'll have more. Maybe they'll steal balls again, like they did with Mike Trout, and then boast about it. So again, just a nicest group of people you could ever want. But I saw them calling to investigate the Blue Jays.
Shut up.
As much. Shut up. Like again, this is my fucking. I'll say this: the Astros took the fall for what was probably a league-wide not probably, it was a league-wide problem. The Astros took that fall. I will bet you, and remember Carlos Beltran said, like, you guys aren't cheating. I will bet you money that the Yankees had some sort of thing like that going on.
Well, yeah, he came from the Yankees.
Yeah, he had something like that going on. I can only imagine the kind of horror. I mean, it's going to make Abu Ghraib look like Candyland, what they were probably doing. It is disgusting. And to see them calling for it, like, it's been 2 bad games. And also, you guys, like, remember, you did not win the AL East. You lost the AL East to the Blue Jays. You barely made, like, you made it to the ALDS through a 3-game wildcard series with the Red Sox. You also didn't look like great. So every time they complain, an angel gets its wings, and it makes me very happy, even though they're, obviously the nicest group of fans. Couldn't happen to better people.
Yeah, fuck them. On the other big series, well, I mean, there's 4 series going on. The Mariners Detroit series is going to be awesome.
That's going 5 games. The last night, I was like, it's a good game, but it's a pitching battle. There were 2 runs. Scooble gave up 2 runs to what was his name? I want to call him. I keep wanting to call him Paloma. I don't know why. Gave up 2 runs, and then 7th inning, it's like, oh, this is playoff baseball, and I will argue that playoff baseball is the best kind of playoff. Like when it's actually like playoff baseball, not when it's like, oh, it's like the postseason. When there's like a game that just feels spiritual, like a playoff game. So it's maybe the best playoffs in all of sports. It's so much fun to watch. I think
it is. I really think it is.
Yeah. And
for professional sports, because March Madness is undefeated.
Yeah, that's a different world. That's also like one game, like you want is survive in advance. MLB, you really don't have that unless it's a win or go home game. But no, like it is astounding how awesome playoff baseball is. And like, I don't particularly want the Mariners to win, but like, there's a part of me that was like, this is really cool. Like it was Raleigh, and I don't remember who else it was, and I think 8th inning who got it done. It was like, this is kind of cool. I mean, again, I think we said this. What do you say? Was it? I think so. Actually, now that I think about it, I think it was Julio Rodriguez. I'm trying to think back. I can't remember the inning that well. But all that to say, that's probably the most fun series we have going right now. Now, again, the Dodgers and
Phillies could be a good time.
Phillies is going to be probably a good series. We only have 1 game of experience so far. The Mariners, Detroit's going to be a fun game. And again, AJ Hinch, I really want him to win something because he deserves it. So hold that ring high, King. Last thing on just sports. Do you have anything else? I have one more thing. The Mark Sanchez story is one of the funniest stories, not because of what happened, but because we all woke up, I think Sunday morning, going like, oh, poor Mark Sanchez. He he got stabbed. Oh, that's so sad. Like I'm in pain for him. Like, listen, I don't love Mark Sanchez, but like it's sad to see someone. And then, I mean, a couple hours later, it's like, oh yeah, Mark Sanchez actually brutally beat an old elderly truck driver. I don't know if you saw the picture of him in the hospital, but it's like,
dude, Mark Sanchez is a monster.
Yeah,
what Mark a piece of shit. Did you see the update where he was like, he confronted the truck driver because he was like, you can't park here. I know the hotel owner or some shit. What the fuck are you? I know he's shit faced, but what the fuck are you talking about?
It's honestly, people saying like a Marriott or like a Hilton. It's like, dog, you don't know like the Hiltons. Like you don't. It's genuinely one of the more insane stories. Like you have like a Rashi Rice or like, I don't know, something like that, where it's like kind of fork found in kitchen. Like you expect a professional athlete to be a little insane. That's how they are. But when you hear like an NFL commentator beat the living shit out of a guy for just trying to park a truck. And then you see, and the story basically goes like the guy tried to pepper spray him. You know, you ever seen those videos of like guys on meth who have to get tased like 7 times? That's all, I mean, their body just takes it. Apparently that's Mark Sanchez drunk. He had to like get pepper sprayed and then stabbed to get stopped. And that's really shows his potential, that the Jets wasted away, truly. But it's a very Jets storyline to be like, oh yeah, our quarterback who, was good, did get stabbed. Oh, but he did beat the guy with like an inch of his life. Just insane. And that's why I posted the meme today. It was like, call the cops, but not for, but for me. Like it's, like I think he's going to get charged. He got charged with like a felony or he's going to die on a felony.
He got unlawful entering of a vehicle, battery, and
assault and battery.
Public intoxication.
Okay. He's not gonna be on TV anymore.
Yep, he's fired. He's donezo.
He butt fumbled his career away again. Really weird happened twice. Well, Brian, that's all I had this week. I think we're gonna have a fun baseball playoff week. It's gonna be a great week on that. And honestly, hopefully the Chiefs. Who's it? Chiefs and
Jaguars.
Oh, okay, never mind. I was gonna hope it's gonna be a good game, but I just don't. The bones aren't shaping up for that. Yeah, Brian, where can the people find you?
You can find me across all social media at Auric Polaris, AURICPLARIS. Fuck, God, I've been doing so good for so long. Especially at twitch.tv/Auric Polaris, where I'm continuing Elden Ring, and I might be doing some Halo. Jordan, where can the people find you?
Find me at Jordan Stotts on Twitter, which I haven't been using as much because I've been using Moonstamp a lot more. Find me across all platforms on Moonstamp Sports on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. I think that's all of them. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for kind of keeping up with the new format. We will see you on Friday.
Peace and love.